Bardock may not have been able to save his planet, but that doesn't mean he's not gonna save his family. What's up everybody, StevDeS here, and welcome to another edition of Dragon Ball Days. After the reception I got from this What If, you know I had to do part 2. I couldn't hold that back for too long. Nobody really cares about, that gender-bent Vegeta or whatever, Tarble and Goku flying through space. Nobody cares about that, right? Regardless, I had to get back to this one sooner than later. In part 1, Bardock was pretty much told by Gine to go to Earth and go get her son because she wasn't going to make him food if he didn't. So, the Saiyan Man's going to listen to that threat. After getting to Earth and inadvertently actually saving Grandpa Gohan, he actually lost a wager against him. Well, actually, he won what the wager was about, but he decided to go with the loss. Therefore, Kakarot was able to meet his father, fight him, and not really get anything else other than the fact that his actual name was Kakarot. And so, Bardock left Earth and his son in order to discover that planet Vegeta was destroyed while he was gone. His pod was just floating in space, and the space that once occupied planet Vegeta was just now space that occupied space. Space! We now go to where the pod is being picked up by one of the Cooler Corps ships, and who else to meet Bardock than a younger, but about the same size as in the anime, Kui. What, if the Ginyu Force was about the same size and same age after 20 years, you'd think that Kui didn't change either.
Well, if it isn't the other Saiyan.
Shove it, Kui. I have to talk to Lord Cooler.
Well, isn't that a coincidence? Because Lord Cooler has requested an audience with you, Saiyan. I'm here to arrest you.
This better be good. Kui makes sure that Bardock is cool-minded, considering what he probably just witnessed, and leads him to Cooler's room. Now, a quick note here. Because Cooler hasn't been through whatever the Cooler Corps went through in the original anime, Cooler is still in his first form. Yeah, we get first form Cooler, and I'm sure later down the line we may get second, third, and final form Cooler, and beyond final form Cooler. Regardless, we get first form Cooler, and as soon as Bardock sees him, that's when the hot-headed Bardock still, does his thing, breaks from Kui's grip, and charges Cooler. Cooler predicted this, and sure enough, he meets Bardock's hand, grabs it, and gives him a good gut punch.
Well, I'm inclined to kill you for that little charge at your lord. I'm afraid karma has other ways of biting, doesn't it? You see, your planet Vegeta, it's not my fault that it's gone. It's yours.
What? What do you mean by that?
I mean, I tried to defend your planet as much as I could. 2 whole battalions lost their lives that day. But because you left, you weren't there to defend your planet from that meteorite. However, don't consider me as much of a bad monarch monkey. You Saiyans are actually still worthwhile, even though your numbers have much to be desired. However, if you want to come back and be a good little soldier, I can put you with the rest of the Saiyans.
Other Saiyans survived?
Oh yes, indeed. The prince is still alive, thorn in my side. But his bodyguard is keeping him under wraps, and ironically, your son is still alive too.
This gets to Bardock, because he thinks about how Cooler's wording this. Maybe Earth is a little bit too far out of his sphere of influence. He doesn't know exactly what planet that he landed on, and to him, there's only one son that Bardock has, and that's Raditz. To him, maybe the other son he had, was far too young and got killed in Planet Vegeta's explosion. Wiping the pod data actually helped in this case because to Cooler, there is no Kakarot. To Bardock, he thinks that one Saiyan is already under the radar, when we all know there's actually 3 Saiyans under the radar. Bardock bows and accepts these terms. He's willing to be a soldier to ensure Kakarot is still safe, and he'll be placed with his other son, Raditz, so that's a win-win in Bardock's book. After getting suited up in his new armor, he is introduced to the unit. As he's walking down the hall, after a couple of doors open, he sees Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta all talking, and little Raditz is happy to see him.
Ah, Father! It's so good to see you! Now we can serve Lord Cooler properly. I know you'll bring good things to this unit. After all, you are my father.
Yeah, I think, as far as bravery's concerned, Raditz may have looked up to his dad. I mean, he had to in order to be part of Vegeta's unit. That must have been really rough. They get a moment where they're reunited, and sure enough, they give each other one of those man hugs. Between 2 and 3 years pass, and Bardock is starting to relive a few emotions. He does not like Cooler. He's not liked Cooler for some time, and that hate is still festering, regardless of how Cooler is treating the Saiyan unit. Speaking of, this early in the timeline, Vegeta would already be at about 18,000, Nappa would be between 4,800 and 5,000, and Raditz would be over 2,000 as far as his power level. And sure enough, Bardock is able to keep up with the Saiyan Prince, and his power level would be similar to Vegeta's. However, the father-son dynamic does annoy Vegeta and Nappa, and several missions they choose to go alone and leave Raditz with his father. A lot of this emotion is just sickening as far as Saiyan warriors are concerned. However, after looking into it behind the scenes, Bardock really can't say there's anything wrong, but the information is so vague as far as the event of Planet Vegeta being blown up that it's just, there's not a lot to go on. He does know of a big red ball, so while he's not seen meteorites hit planets before, or meteors, or comets, or anything bigger than that, he really has no information to go off of. Cooler might be telling the truth, but that doesn't mean he's very happy serving Cooler. One night, in his chambers, he stares out into space and he remembers Guinea's look as far as how eagerly she wanted to save Kakarot and bring him back home. That really gets to him, and the following morning he selects a mission for him and Raditz to go on. Not really a big mission, it's like Tatooine from Star Wars. Most of it was desert, but they had that one city that had spacecrafts in it. That sort of planet is what they go to. They land in the dunes not far from the city, and when I say they, I mean Raditz and Bardock. Vegeta and Nappa are not hanging out this time. Before they left, Bardock made sure to delete the, trail saves as far as the pods are concerned. Make sure that the pods couldn't be registered. They'd be registered as far as where they were going, but nothing as far as voice, as far as recognition, as far as if the pods were even opened. The only information the Cooler Corps has is that the pods landed on that planet. Raditz and Bardock get out of their pods, and Bardock starts thinking about how he's going to put this, because he's got a plan in place. And he knows Raditz might not be really inclined to go with him on this.
So, Father, what are we doing on this dust bowl of a planet? What mission are we even supposed to be on?
Well, Raditz, we're supposed to secure the nearby town for Lord Cooler and make sure that they're on top of things.
Sounds simple enough. I thought we could maybe glass this marble, make it a pretty gem in space for our lord.
A bit of diplomacy might actually win in the end. I mean, if we can fool them into giving us more, then that's more for the core, right?
Ah, yes, Father. Very good thinking.
Yes, Raditz. And we need to prepare for... Ah!
What? Father! What are you... What was that about? Why did you destroy our scouters?
Because I know where Kakarot is, Raditz. And this is not what your mother would have wanted. We're going to go to the city, find a ship, and then go to Earth.
But our pods, they're still registering everything.
I took it upon myself to disable any radio system the pods may have. All they know is that we landed here. And that's exactly how I want it to be. We're going to go to the city, slaughter whoever sees us. And we are taking a ship.
Father, why? The Cooler Corps has been good to us. Sure, Mother's gone, but that's just something we have to accept.
I was afraid you'd see it this way. You can rat me out all you want, Raditz, but either you're with me. At that moment, Bardock holds up his hand facing his son, and starts charging some ki in his palm. Or you're against me. Raditz pauses and really looks at his father seriously. This is a look that Bardock has never given him. This is something that is kind of scary, but it's sort of painful. Like, Bardock was on a mission and he failed it. And yeah, this was never a situation for Raditz because his father was the greatest. He loves his dad. He idolizes his dad. But his dad's now wanting to leave the Corps, and he's so powerful on this decision, not just in the fact that he's willing to harm his son to get it done, but he's so confident in this decision. Something strikes Raditz here.
Father, I understand. You can put that down. Maybe this is the right way, but the Cooler Corps is all I've known. You must forgive me if this doesn't seem like the right way to go.
I understand, son. It's difficult for me too. Now take your armor off.
What? Why?
So I can blast a few holes in it, rip it apart. Make it seem like we died on this planet.
So your overall plan is to let the Cooler Corps just wipe everything out on this planet after we're gone?
That's the long and short of it. Sure enough, they leave the broken armor in the sand and go to the city. They destroy anyone that got a good look at them and leave the planet. On the way, they're able to patch things up, and Bardock is able to tell Raditz about what Kakarot did. He's learning how to fight. He's definitely a strong child for a power level of 2, and Raditz is kind of excited to meet his brother. The ship lands near Mount Paozu, which is good for Bardock because, no scouter and he doesn't know how to sense energy. So, yeah, there's that. He's able to find Grandpa Gohan's abode. After flying to Grandpa Gohan's house on Mount Paozu, Bardock is able to meet the old man again and introduce him to his son.
Oh, well, look who it is. Big, tall, and spiky-haired. And it seems you've gotten another one that has even spikier hair. Hold your tongue, old man, or I'll rip it out.
Relax, Raditz. This man's the guy who made the wager.
So you're the old man who outsmarted my father. I've got to admit, that was pretty funny when he was explaining it to me. Oh, yes. Well, it was all for the right reasons. Your father, you said? Yes, I'm his son, Raditz, and I'm much more powerful. Well, much more powerful than Kakarot, right?
That'll do. So what are you doing, old man? It looks like you're packed up for something.
Oh, well,
Kakarot has entered...
Kakarot? I thought you named him Goku.
Well, when I told him the story about what happened, he wanted to keep his name Kakarot because you were such a powerful fighter when you fought, and he didn't want to forget.
Huh. How about that? Well, you said he was fighting?
Oh yes, indeed. Kakarot is going to be fighting at the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, and I want to be there to see him fight. A lot has happened since you left. I'll update you on the way. It's a couple days on foot, so maybe you and your son can do some fishing. I know Kakarot sure eats a lot.
You know we can fly, right?
Actually, Father, maybe we should walk, blend in a little bit.
Alright. You win, Raditz. We'll walk, old man. But, I think I have a proposition that might be easier on your legs.
Oh? Do tell.
As in comedic Dragon Ball fashion, while they're walking, Raditz is kicking himself in the foot, giving the old man and all of his things a piggyback ride.
When I said walk, I didn't want this, Father.
Quit your whining. You have a power level of over 2,000. Surely the old man's not that heavy.
I did pack a lot with me. He did pack a lot with him, Father.
Quit your whining. You keep whining, and we won't make it to see Kakarot fight.
They're not able to see the fights leading up to Goku's fight in the tournament against Anonymous. However, by that time, they are able to get some clothes a little more akin to the school that Gohan learned at, and are able to see the fight where Goku is going up against a young woman who does have quite good skills as far as martial arts are concerned. Grandpa Gohan approaches Bulma because he would recognize Bulma after, meeting her at Mount Paozu with Kakarot. It's so hard to not say Goku. That he calls out to her, along with the two Saiyans following him. Oh, hey! It's you! How are you doing, old man? Oh, my. Who's the handsome guys with you?
Hello, Bulma. This is Bardock, and this is his son, Raditz. Bardock is Goku's
Dang it, I did it again!
Bardock is Kakarot's father.
Whoa, no way! Kakarot's father? They get to know each other and then turn their attention back to the fight, and he's quite impressed with how Kakarot's doing out there. And sure enough, he gets to see the whole thing that happens with Chi-Chi and him, and doesn't want to bother it too much, but decides to go around and meet him from the backstage. Two of the people, try to tell him, hey, you don't need to be going back here. It's VIP only.
That's my son fighting out there, so you're gonna do best to get out of my way.
Bardock's definitely got this one. And so, before the Piccolo Jr. fight, Kakarot is ecstatic because he sees the guy he fought so many years ago right in front of him. Sure, there's this other pineapple-headed guy or something, but he sees his dad after so long. He's so happy to see him and, man hug. Sure enough, Bardock is able to see the fight against Piccolo Jr. as well as the fights that preceded it. And he's very proud of his son. But as soon as his son is under Giant Piccolo's foot, that's when he yells out to Kakarot.
Come on, Kakarot! I didn't come all this way to see you fail! Show him the pride of the Saiyan race!
This makes the crowd kind of like, what the heck is a Saiyan? But Kakarot understands what's going on, and he's more than happy to get up and get it done. He wins against Piccolo Jr., and he's actually a lot stronger than the anime. As opposed to his power level being about on par with Piccolo, I'm going to say that his power level jumped, I'd say, 150 points. After losing his first battle, Grandpa Gohan is the one that instilled the knowledge that you can't win every battle, but you need to prepare yourself for the battles that matter. And little Kakarot would have thought I want to beat that guy someday. Yeah, I want to train myself like Grandpa Gohan said, and I want to get myself better so that one day I can beat him. So, sure enough, Kakarot's stronger because he has more of a motivation. Does this mean he beat Tien Shinhan the first time? I'm gonna say no, because Tien Shinhan was still a smart martial artist. He still had a couple of tricks up his sleeve, and he was able to outwit Kid Goku. In this timeline, Kid Kakarot still, in fact, loses against Tien Shinhan, but wins at the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, being proud of his son, and again, there's too much stronger people to train with. I would say he kills Piccolo, but at the same time, he did put it together that Kami would have died too. You know what? I'll leave this up to you. Does Kakarot kill Piccolo Jr.? On one end, he does put it together that Kami is going to die if he does, and the Dragon Balls wouldn't exist. But on the other end, he doesn't, because he's got more powerful people to train with. Hell, his dad's power level is over 15,000 at this point, and his brother's is even easier of a goal to reach at about 2,400, something like that. So, naturally, there are things that could happen in this scenario. But I am going to leave it here, and leave it for you to tell me in that poll above. So what do you all think? Leave a comment below if you think that Bardock and now Raditz is going to add or take things away from the Saiyan Saga, or do you think that maybe the Saiyan Saga wouldn't exist because of this? For more what-ifs in the realm of video gaming and Dragon Ball alike, such as if a certain character turned good because, well, Frieza's a bad, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!